eavesdrop here. Going to do a headphone review for these Hifiman HE R9s. First off, you're gonna notice that the shape is awkward to say the least. It's something that probably an air traffic controller would wear, and I'm going to guess that that's where the manufacturer got the idea from. So the shape, I would assume that the shape has to do with the sound distribution, but I think they sound really cool, and it's one of those headphones similar to my previous review that I did, that you wear these, it's gonna get your attention, but of course that's not necessarily the point, but just something to note. The comfort, even though they're large headphones, they actually are extremely light and they are comfortable. The cushions are soft, they're large, this headband is large, it fits, everything fits perfectly. The cushion does, I guess one drawback is that the cushion does get a little scratchy from time to time, but it is tolerable. So on to the next thing, which is, I'm just gonna jump right into it, is the sound. So the sound is really good. So I would consider them fun. That's how I would label these. They're not AirPod Maxes, not at that level. They're at a different level. They're just different. They're unique, So I've been doing this headphone collection thing. So these are one of my headphones. So it is a unique listen. So they do sound good. They have good, what they call decent enough sound stage, some decent music separation. That's where you can kind of tell, you can hear all the many different instruments, the hi-hats, the kicks, the snares, whatnot. Really good for that. And of course the bass, which is important for someone like me. The bass on these headphones hits different, it just hits in different areas. So it would really take you to have these kind of headphones to understand what I'm talking about. But most of the time the bass is kind of hitting at the bottom, but then it could be all over. But it is definitely a unique experience listening to these. What I am playing in these headphones is, of course, predominantly 90s hip hop, drum and bass, house music, indie electronic, and indie rock. So basically most of the songs I'm playing are very, very track driven. So it is definitely a fun listen. Feature wise, they are pretty simple, if you want to call it that. So you can have them wired or wireless, which I have them wireless with this dongle. This dongle actually came with these Zebra Pros, which I did a review on previously. So, but they're the same company, and they both have the capability of wireless function. So with the wires, they sound better because it's wireless. It still sounds great, but it's just not as good as wired. Also, like I said, feature-wise, so you can pause and play with the little button there. I haven't tried to fast forward or do anything else, just pause my music, but usually I'm right next to the device that I'm using. So just know that these aren't the typical wireless headphones with a bunch of features. It's pretty straightforward, which is perfectly fine with me. Back to some sound stuff. So, if the headphones are pretty honest. So if you are listening to a poorly recorded album or poorly recorded music, doesn't mean the music is bad, but it may not be recorded well. I listen to a lot of 90s hip hop. I have some drum and bass music that I actually recorded from the radio, an independent radio station years ago. That the quality isn't the greatest, but it's still an interesting listen. But don't expect this high fidelity sound out of these if you're, it's not going to color. That's what they call it. It's not going to color your music. If the music quality isn't good, then they're not going to play well. Also, I shouldn't say not going to play well. It's not going to play, with this clarity. Also, there's no noise cancellation on these, so they're not necessarily if you're going on a plane or something, they're not really designed for that. When I'm listening to these, I'm usually here at home, put the kids to sleep and I'm in bed just before going to sleep, I'm rocking these. So again, like I said, very fun listen. Even though they're closed back, some sounds do leak out. So the person next to you will hear some stuff, not like these, which are open back, but you are going to hear some sound leakage. And I also, just to mention, so I also wear these on occasion on the bus, from time to time when I'm on the way to work, and they do okay. They're okay, not bad. I'm not mad at the performance at all. And of course, people do notice, but they sound. So now the price of these, I got them for under $100. I went on the Hifiman website and got them open box. So they have an open box and refurb, and the prices are very reasonable. Even on Amazon, the prices aren't terrible. So when you get them, I mean, you just can't be mad at the price. And so that's it. So as far as a rating, I think I can give it a rating. I'll probably give them about an 8.5 out of 10. And it's super preferential. That's really my opinion. Obviously, in the video is my opinion. So I'm just gonna reference these AirPod Maxes, which are excellent. So these are really excellent also. But again, like I said, it's like a different sound. So it's gonna take you on a different journey, if you will. So they do sound really good, but there are some times I'm listening, I'm not super satisfied, but overall I'm happy. I have to say that these are actually my favorite headphones to listen to. So hope you enjoyed the review. Check them out. Peace.